Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms, and I am joined here, as usual, with superfan Jake Circus of the Jake Circus podcast and Devin Circus, and this is the week 5 preview of Jungle Talk. And I know it's hard to get excited with the way we've been playing, so you guys are just giving me that stare. But like I said, I do that because there are people that just listen to the audio too. So before I forget, please, if you don't subscribe on YouTube, please subscribe. That's all we ask for. Give us the thumbs up on the analytics. When we give our point predictions, why don't you guys give us your predictions in the comments? But please subscribe. It's all we ask. And then Jake, tell them where they can find all your stuff, because you do some amazing podcasts, some based on gambling, which we're going to talk about right away. So go ahead and give them that info.
Yeah, Jake Circus podcast, YouTube and Spotify. We're doing NFL shows on Monday, college football middle of the week, and then gambling shows on Friday. We're recording this late, so I'm recording my gambling show right after this. Got two guests on. Coming off of my best gambling week of my life, I went 11-1 in NFL sides this week, so that was pretty fun.
Awesome.
And I'm 3-0 on the show in my college football picks. I've won it the last 3 weeks. I have two today. So
all right, good. He picked Florida as an underdog against Tennessee, and so the money line paid. I bet it with the points and the money line. That was a winner. Then the next week he said, "Hey, don't be scared of the points. Take Oregon. They're going to crush Colorado," which they did. And then last week we got Ole Miss, which was also that was like a plus 121 or something money line. So I threw that on a couple parlays. Now all I know is I've had 2 of the last 3 weeks have been great weeks. We got sandwiched with it was a shit sandwich. Had a great week, not so great week, but we're up on the season and love winners. If you're a gambler, every gambler loves winners. That's it. So yeah, Jake's been on a tear. So we'll save your 2 predictions for the end of the show. Or you want to give them now?
I can give them now. I mean,
all right. Let's hear it. I want to hear it because it's like
a lot more,
and you
should a lot more exciting than
his show. I mean, the guy's giving me nothing but winners.
It's actually pretty ironic because I did a gambling show every week up until last week, and I didn't do a show, and I would have given out every bet that I was going to give out would have ended up winning. I went 11-1 on my sides. Like unheard of. Like, we're going to regress this week, I guarantee you. But so pick number 1, because we've been hot. So we're giving out 2 tonight for college football. I'll save my homer pick for the last, but going to some Pac-12 after, I guess not even after dark, prime time on the Pac-12 network, the last year of the Pac-12 network. We're going with the Sun Devils plus 4.5 against Colorado. Okay. I am Colorado's biggest hater. I faded them on this show. I'm doing it again. I've done it almost every week. I didn't do it last week. I wanted to take USC and I stood away because of that defense, and USC had to recover an onside kick in a game that they led 41-14.
I have avoided USC. I'm a huge Trojan fan. That's my team. But you know what? I've yet to bet SC. They didn't cover a bet last year, and they haven't covered one this year. So I've stayed off them every week. Once again, they're just not covering. Georgia's another team I've been avoiding because they're not
0-5. We're 0-5. So going with the Sun Devils plus 4.5. Some questions at quarterback for them. Their star sophomore transfer's been hurt. I don't know if he's going to play in this one, but Colorado said like the first 5 games of the year have been hyped up. National TV, Super Bowl games. Think this could be a sleepy spot for them, going to a sold-out ASU stadium, an ASU team that's not like great, but they'll be able to move the ball. They've played really, really well the last 2 weeks against USC and then Cal last week. They covered both those games. So I like the Devils plus 4.5 money line, probably around plus 150, but I'm taking the points. And then pick number 2, very close to making it a game of the year. 2 of the 3 people on this show will be at the game. I'm taking the Mizzou plus 6.5. I also have the money line outright. Faded LSU last week. Still think the market is not even close to correct on this LSU team that had college football playoff, national title, SEC aspirations preseason, and they've turned into a team that looked last year that was the beneficiary of 4 or 5 coin flip games. They've completely regressed. They're rocking the third worst passing defense in FBS. I mean, you can name just like shitters of football teams that have been better at defending the pass than LSU has this season. This is a dynamic Missouri passing attack for the first time in my time at the school. We're going to be at this game. Dev's coming out. That'll be fun. And we're getting a juicy number. It's down to 4 now, so maybe it's no value there, so take the money line. But I love the Tigers this week. So Mizzou on the spread and money line, and then ASU.
Yeah, I like the Mizzou pick. LSU has just been disappointing from week 1. I mean, they've just been disappointing. So, and once you bet against them, then they're actually not disappointing because you're rooting for them to play poorly, and they've delivered. So, all right, there you have it, guys. Let's ride the hot hand. So,
and tune into the Jake Circus Gambling Show tomorrow afternoon on Spotify and YouTube.
There you go. So
NFL.
All right, so Devin, you've been incredibly silent. You even went dark on your screen for a second. I don't know what was going on back there.
Having some dog issues here. The dog
that doesn't nuts. Dog can be on the show. We don't have any problems with animal, having a little Animal Planet going on in the background. No problems at all. So we're gonna do what we usually do. We're gonna talk about things we're feeling good about the Bengal game, things we're not feeling good about. I don't know about you, but I have a whole lot I'm feeling good about. So, and I'm going to the game. So, Hollywood Bowl Saturday night, plane flight first thing in the morning, and then straight to the game. So I will be there on, and Heath is going as well. I will be there on Sunday. So really help it. Glad Burrow's playing. Just that's a selfish thing for me because I didn't want to fly out there to see Jake Browning lose the game. I'd already made a trip on one game to see Driscoll not win. So the last thing I know, hey, you know what? They were in Carson against the Chargers. I had to go down there.
We were there, Dad. We were there.
Yeah, we were at that game.
Yeah, you were with us. So it's
you know who scored in that game? One of his 9 touchdowns that year, led the team.
Who?
John Ross. John Ross scored in that game.
John Ross, yeah. And here's my memory of that game, and then we're going to get to this game. We were in the end zone where the Bengals were driving and got in. Jeff Driscoll ran it in, and then it was called back that he dove too early, and they put it on the 1-yard line. Then we had a false start. So now all of a sudden, instead of being at the half-foot line, we were outside the 5, and we ended up settling for a field goal. And I was like, that's just typical. And I can't remember the offensive lineman. I memory dumped his name, but who was, and he was a horrible. I'm trying to remember who it was. I'm telling you, it's one of those.
I know exactly who it is, and I can't think of his name.
Was it Bobby Hart?
No,
it was not Bobby Hart.
It was the guy that Heath hated that always committed the penalties. I want to say Johnson.
What is it?
I want to say something Johnson.
No, it wasn't Fred Johnson. He wasn't on the team yet.
No.
Was it Bodine? I'm trying to remember who it was. No.
Billy Price?
No. I can't remember, but it was one of those. We actually had his aunt and uncle were tailgating with us.
Oh, okay. We were at that tailgate. No, I remember this. I remember this, but I cannot think of this guy's name. Yes.
If you think of it during the show, we'll throw it in there. If anybody can put the penalty machine that was our offensive line back then.
You know what year it was, Mark? Do you remember?
It was 2018, and I remember this guy because he did commit penalties on every goddamn snap.
I know exactly who it is.
Yes.
So.
Oh, Alex Redmond.
Redmond, there you go. Thank you. So, yes, his aunt and uncle were tailgating with us, and then Heath made a snide comment. We should have kicked their ass out. No, I was like, you know what? Their parents, they were relatives of the guy, but no, yeah.
He was
being right there at the half-yard line, and then outside the 5, and then not getting the touchdown. In the end zone, we were sitting there. We were in the corner of the end zone. So, okay.
How about this elite offensive line going Cordy Glenn, Clint Boyling, Billy Price, Alex Redmond, and the revolving door that is Bobby Hart.
Yeah.
And Trey Hopkins, who is just as bad.
Hopkins was on the bench.
Hey, Hopkins
he was the 6th man that year. He wasn't even starting yet.
What are you talking about? Don't pick on Hopkins. He was that reminds me of an Animal House scene where he starts with the one guy and says 2.0 or 1.2 GPA. Congratulations, you're top of the Delta class, and then works his way down. Well,
my God, this roster was
top of our class. So
This roster was dreadful. I'm gonna just want to name some names: Darqueze Dennard, Cody Core, Preston Brown, Andrew Billings, Ryan Glasgow, Bobby Hart, Malik Jefferson, Dre Kirkpatrick, Tyler Croft. Carl Lawson was on this team. I remember him. He's like falling off the face. Oh, Hardy Nickerson. Oh, that guy sucked.
Oh my God, I remember
Hardy Nickerson. Oh my gosh. All right. Corrected ball. Here we go. So we're going to talk about this team, but I don't know that we're going to.
This team might not be that much better.
Well, okay. So here's my concerns. I'm going to throw out a few things, and it was really easy writing things I don't feel good about.
Offense, defense, special teams.
Well, I'm going to start with I'm going to be a little more specific than just calling out the entire team. But Zona has played well. I mean, they beat the Cowboys. They've played well. Dobbs has played well. He's completed 70% of his passes. Right, Connor's
America's team,
over 5 yards a carry. I mean, this team has played, and the defense is not a pushover. This is not a pushover defense. They shut down the Cowboys, so it's hard with the way our offense is playing. It's hard to see our offense scoring more than 3 touchdowns. Even scoring 3 touchdowns would be an accomplishment for this offense. If we fall behind in this game, we're not catching up. I mean, we won the Ram game on our defense. And it's kind of disappointing because we watched the Monday night game. We really thought we'd turn the corner. We'd figured something out. And then we went to Tennessee and laid this egg. Like I said, I just gave you there's nothing to feel good about on what I just said if you're a Bengals fan. So, I mean, come on, tell me I'm wrong here. I'm extremely concerned, and I'm going to be in the stands. I don't want to have to go get a paper bag. Come on.
No, I'm with you 100%. If you're looking for something positive, I'll give you one thing. And I saw it on the internet, so it must be true.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Burrow jogging around in practice more so than he has in past weeks. And obviously, I'm not comparing it to a game. I'm comparing practice this past week to practice the last couple of weeks.
Right.
I also saw some passing in practice where it looks like he's utilizing his legs a little more. So, that's all I got.
He's actually not even on the injury report. He's actually Burrow's not even on the injury report.
Right.
He hasn't been for a few weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, so, well, obviously we don't have T, which isn't good, but we have enough.
He might play. He might play. We don't know.
He just hasn't practiced a lot. He hasn't practiced yesterday or today. Cam Taylor-Britt's limited practice. What's the status in concussion protocol?
Yeah, he's just got to get through it. So that's a Saturday thing. He can't be a full while he's in the protocol. So we don't know. Like the fact that he's by Thursday, guys who go in concussion protocol and don't practice Thursday don't play in the game. So the fact that he actually suited up and practiced in a limited capacity, maybe. But we won't know until Friday or Saturday. That's how the protocol works.
What about Orlando Brown?
Is he on the report?
Brown, full practice today.
Oh, he did full today. He was not full yesterday.
Herb Smith was full practice today.
I don't know if that's good or not.
I don't know either, but hey, bodies. You just, it's about depth. Awuzie was limited practice with his back. So, like I said, my bigger concern isn't the injury report. My bigger concern is, like I said, we give up 24 points. I don't know we can score 24 points. This team hasn't shown me they can.
Yeah.
I don't think Arizona's scoring 24 in this game. I think that they've done really well running the ball. They're one of the league's best rushing attacks through 4 weeks. Doesn't mean a whole lot. Can easily regress. But watching their tape, think that they do a lot of interesting stuff in the run game. Connor has completely broken out. Normally he's seen as like this fantasy touchdown vulture guy who just runs it from the 2-yard line. But this year he has like a fresh set of legs. It seems like he looks fantastic. They're second in the league in yards per carry. They're a full yard behind Miami. That's just how unreal Miami has been. But they're ahead of teams like Philly and KC and Dallas and running the football. They've done really well. But that's about it. This is not a great passing attack. I think at times Dobbs has looked sufficient when they've played ahead, like that week 1 game when they were ahead against Washington, looked very solid, was able to complete, short passes against Dallas. Dallas's secondary is kind of an unknown right now with all those injuries.
Right.
But look,
Diggs was there for that game.
I know. Okay. I know. But this is still an Arizona team that, look, you can't overlook anybody in the NFL, especially with the way the Bengals have been playing. But like this, and then even looking at the Cardinals defense, they're the league's worst passing defense still. Even, they haven't won a game. They're 3-1 against the spread. It's still the league's worst passing defense. They're averaging a successful play every other play in dropbacks. So passing defense is not good. They don't generate pressure with 4. So this ideally, like thinking logically and practically, this should be Burrow's best game of the year, where he's going to have a clean pocket and our guys are going to be faster than them, even if Higgins isn't out there. But this should be a spot to get right. And if they don't, then we're going to have some more problems. But I would expect a bounce back, especially with another week of Burrow getting back out there and getting healthy.
Yeah. I didn't say I wasn't taking the Bengals this week. I just haven't. When you're looking, we're basing stuff on talking about the past. And when you look at the past, we're 1-3. You are what your record says you are. We're there for a reason. And we're there because we're not putting up points. We've had 2 games where we've only managed a field goal. That's that
they have 3 touchdowns. They have 3 touchdowns all year.
Right. No.
And one of them from Charlie Jones.
Justin Fields.
No. 3 offensive touchdowns.
Oh, mix and ram, the mix and run you're talking about. Yeah, mix and run. Yeah, Joe Burrow's thrown a touchdown in 1 out of 4 games this year, same as Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Justin Fields, I just saw coming into this game had like 8 touchdowns, or maybe after his first touchdown tonight, he's probably got 10 now. But like I said, it's not a lot of positive. I was surprised we got away from the run as quickly as we did last week in Tennessee, because we ran the ball effectively. This should be a good game to lean on Mixon and the run game. I mean, it should be. Mixon's averaging over 4 yards a carry. Now, I know that's not a big number, but if you look at the teams he's played some very good run defenses.
He's ran the ball really well the last 2 weeks.
So why aren't we using him? Why didn't we use him more in Tennessee? I'm just, this is Burrow's come out and said in his presser, this is a must win. I mean, he's acknowledged it that our backs are against the wall. They cannot afford to lose this game. So, I expect we come out strong. I think our defense comes out strong, but like I said, it's just looking at what we've gone through for the first 4 weeks. This is typical Bengal fans. This is why we have these neuroses, because we come into the season at a 5-1 favorite, a 5-1 to win the AFC, and 8-1 to get to win the Super Bowl, and we start 1-3. We have to be. I'm not exaggerating here. We have to be one of the bigger disappointments coming into the season. If you're looking at everything right now, the Bengals have to be one of the biggest disappointments this year. So far,
there's a bigger disappointment in the NFL.
Yeah,
you're talking about the Giants. And
I think
I'd take us over them as a bigger disappointment.
I would, because the aspirations were higher and the pieces are higher. The Giants, I thought, overachieved last year. So
the Giants were the Giants objectively were a bad team last year. Like I do my NFL tiers, and people came after me last year for having the Giants consistently in like the second half, the bottom half of the league, and I'm like, this team's not good. Yeah, they won a playoff game against a horrible Vikings team, and now we're all seeing that like regression. But like I would say that like disappointment's fair, but I would also counter with they've now become. They went from a sure thing, because we know they can score and play defense and make comebacks. They're now an unknown, and now what Bengals team are we going to get week in, week out? And even if they do bounce back, we won't know for another 5-6 weeks what this team is supposed to look like, or what they are going to look like week in, week out. So they've kind of become like an unknown.
Yeah. I want to take things a game at a time, but after watching Seattle on Monday night, it's hard to feel good about the Seattle game following this, and then we're in our bye, and we have to win both of these if we want to be 3-3.
Right. So, and we know the 2 games coming out of the bye.
You have to win both of these games. Like if you want any slivering chance at the division playoffs, and like we're not in a spot to think beyond playoffs. But if they want any sliver of chance to get back in this, you have to win both these games. You just have to. So you can't have another loss as a favorite, because they're going to be favored against Seattle either way.
Think so?
You can't have another loss. If they beat Arizona, they'll be favored against Seattle.
Yeah.
Right now it's 2.5. I saw this morning. It's 2.5 right now. Yeah. Like you can't have another loss as a favorite on your schedule, and sitting at 2-4 going into a bye.
Well, our team
Arizona
needs
with
to
Buffalo
step up.
and San Francisco looming.
Yeah. Oh, it's are you going to the Niner game? You
Nah.
guys decide? Nah.
No, you'll like this, Mark, though. It's but totally non-football, but you asked. I booked today. My big trip this year is the weekend of my 50th. I will be in Durham, North Carolina for Duke, Arizona basketball. I'm a University of Arizona grad. I got the Friday night Arizona Duke game, Saturday Duke UNC football, and Sunday UNC basketball. And then I'm flying home Monday morning.
All right.
How did you pull that?
Well, I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
There you go. Hey, swung it. Well, a happy 50th coming up. That's a great way to celebrate it. So, you know, I had my 60th and all I wanted was a Bengal win on opening day and I didn't get it. So, that's a big birthday too. So I hope, that sounds like a great trip. So let's get into what do you think? I mean, you want to just do predictions? The only thing I have also on my list is our D has to step up. The defense has to keep this game.
They will.
And
I
believe they will. That's going to be my prediction. I am going to pick the Bengals. And I'll tell you right now, I'm picking the Bengals 23-20.
I want to add one thing on you were saying is the first 3 weeks, granted the defense was phenomenal against the Rams, so take the win out of it. But the 3 losses, collectively, we had nothing to complain about with the defense. The Browns game, weather, throw it away, played great for 2.5, 3 quarters. Why am I blanking?
Ravens.
Ravens. We just got beat. Defense, we got beat by Lamar. We had plenty of chances.
Right.
The defense was really bad last week. And, you hear what people say, you read, and all of a sudden the defense is awful and blah, blah, blah. The one thing that really surprised me is I forgot, missed tackles, Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton has been one of the leaders and catalyst of this defense's for the 3 years he's been here.
This is year 3.
Yeah. I was really surprised. I mean, I remember the Buffalo game. You could make a case that he all but won us that Buffalo game with some of the plays he made. Talking about the playoff game last year. So I don't know if there's something wrong. I don't know if it's just a fluke. I don't know if he got Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb a bunch, and Lamar juked him, or just if it's a fluke. But I was really, really surprised to see that. Jake, I don't know if you got anything on that. I know you're the advanced metrics guy and the tape guy, but I still believe in this defense. I still love this defense, and I think the defense comes up. And I do believe this. I truly think I'm speaking more of a fan than a realist, but I believe the offense comes to play this weekend. Are we in predictions? Am I giving my prediction now?
Yes, give your prediction.
I got 23-17 Bengals.
Okay.
And I hope it's 30-17.
That's literally my exact score prediction. So you stole mine.
Wow. You didn't steal it because we don't talk about it. Unless you guys talked before.
We did not.
No, I always like this stuff to be real. So we're all within, you got 23-17, I got 23-20. We're all thinking kind of the same thing. I do agree. I think the offense has a lot to prove. I think they know it. I think we need to run the ball more, not put so much on Joe. You look at what Tennessee did last week. I mean, they had us in pass defense when they ran, and they had us in run defense when they passed. We were horrible on third down, and and even Zach in his presser on Monday, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, I can't remember. He does his pressers at 10. I watched one of them, and he was talking about, hey, you take away like these 3 third down plays, if we could have shown up, it's a completely different game. But I mean, the next thing you knew, we had given up 14 points.
Yeah.
It was 3-3, and then all of a sudden it was 17-3, basically on a few third downs that we broke down on. So
yeah. One thing we should talk about, it made, I don't know about made news, but it made the rounds. The Jamar press conference after the game on Sunday. A lot of people broke that down, and Jamar's not happy. He's leaving too. He's being disgruntled wide receiver. I thought it was great what Jamar said. You want your top receiver to say that he's always open, whether he's open or not. I don't know if you guys saw this. I caught this today, that apparently Jamar got called into Zach's office the other day, and he thought he was in trouble for his press conference. And Zach says something about his comments he made, and Jamar said kind of like, yeah, am I in trouble? And Zach says, no, I effing, and he said it, loved it. And Jamar started laughing. He said, it's the first time I've ever heard coach cuss, so I knew we were good.
Right. Okay. So
I don't know what that means, but I just thought it was fun.
Well, you know what? I just want it to be a W. Not just because I'm going to be there. I mean, we have to have these 2 games. We just said it.
There's no doubt about it.
I mean, if you want to keep the season hope alive, we have to have them. So we all know that humility, is 1 week away. So, we felt really great. The Ravens felt great about themselves in week 2, went home and lost to Indianapolis in a game they should have won. They had multiple opportunities to win that game. I had money on it. I was watching it. I hate rooting for the Ravens, but I root for my money first. And so you had that. And then we felt really great about ourselves on Monday, and humility is a week away going to Tennessee. So I'm expecting a bounce back. Jake, you had the same score. You had that year. I was going to say your prediction.
23-17. I really wanted to take Tennessee last week. Like, I know I predicted the Bengals like by 1 point on the show last week, but I said so I do my NFL contest 5 picks a week, and I normally don't submit it until Saturday night. And I woke up Sunday morning and I was this close to adding the Titans plus 2.5 in my contest, and I didn't do it.
That was the only game I lost. I'm in a 5-game pool called Slammo, and that was my one loss, was the Bengals. I said, just under a field goal. I felt good about us coming out of the Monday night game, and
it was one of those rah Mike Vrabel spots that I talked nonstop
we
about.
Talked about it. We said he was going to have him ready, and he coached a good game. I mean, they like I said, they made plays. We didn't bash Tennessee on our recap. In any way, we gave them kudos for what they did. So, all right, well, there you have it. I don't know. We do the recaps right after the game. Being at the game, obviously, won't have the recap up right afterwards. So I don't know what's going to happen, if we're going to recap Monday or if we'll just, like I said, it's a fluid situation because I'm going to be on very little sleep and flying back. But I'll try to film something maybe with Heath at the game. I don't know how it's going to work on the recap. So if not, maybe we'll recap Monday. I don't know what your guys' schedule is on Monday. We could do something Monday.
I'm flying back Monday. It would have to be Monday night for me or Monday morning before my kid here takes me to the airport.
It's a fluid situation, so cut us some slack. Like I said, traveling to the game on the recap. I'd have no other travel plans after this. So you're going to get the recaps right after the game for the rest of the season. So, like I said, if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It's all we ask. Hit the analytic, hit the bell so you get the notifications, hit the thumbs up on the YouTube, help us out with the analytics. And Jake, tell them where they can find your stuff again. And I want you to win both of those games today. You know what? I'm going to put some money on the Sun Devils, but I'm not as big as I am on your Mizzou pick. So I like that. So I'm going to be on that.
Yep. Jake Circus podcast, Monday, Wednesday, Friday episodes, gambling show tomorrow. About to go film it right now. Spotify and YouTube, show some love. Yeah, and it's not that I believe in Colorado. It's not that I believe in Colorado, but Colorado's they didn't go 0-3 because they're horrible. I mean, Prime has this team believing, and it's ASU that I'm not believing in. That's my biggest problem. But I'm still going to take ASU in the points. So ASU and Mizzou. I'm 3-0 on the show, so I brought 2 picks in today. There you go. ASU no. Listen, I love the Florida pick. I loved all 3 picks. Well, I was on all 3 and I won them. As a gambler, we love winners. Hey, who doesn't love winning, huh? Come on, winning. So, all right. Well, like I said, we'll see what happens after the game with the recap. Maybe it'll be Monday. Stay tuned. Another reason to hit the bell so you get notified when we put something up. We'll be back with the preview. And Bengals, come on, 2-3 coming home from Arizona. Let's do it. Come on, you guys have got to give me a hoo-day on the way out. Come on. Hoo-day. 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 Take care.